Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to Broku no Hero. Today's video is ranking the top 10 magic affinities in the world of Black Clover. There are so many different types of magic, so it's kind of hard to narrow it down to a top 10 list. But after taking the time to think about it, I think I've developed a pretty solid list. But if for any reason you disagree with me, then feel free to voice your opinions down below in the comments section. With that being said, guys, please leave a like and subscribe, as well as turn on notifications to be notified every time I upload a Black Clover video. One last thing, guys, there is going to be some manga spoilers in this video. They're rather light spoilers. They don't spoil too much, but if you don't want to be spoiled at all, then don't watch. But guys, come on, just read the damn manga and don't get offended by me saying that. But anyways, guys, this list was very hard to make because it's hard to separate magic type from amount of mana. For example, someone can have spatial magic and be trash because of low mana, or somebody can have spatial magic and be amazing because of high amounts of mana. It's hard to gauge because we're gauging magic type here, not overall ability. So it is kind of hard to take out the magic type and separate it from mana amount, skill, and how physical strength can amp it. So it is a bit hard and more nuanced than you might think. And because of that, sometimes we will make assumptions on a magic type, and they won't be 100% correct because we haven't seen enough of it yet. So it's an assumption. And so starting off at number 10 is a tie between Vortex Magic and Painting Magic. After thinking about it, I just couldn't decide which one I think is better, so I'm just going to explain over both of these. We recently just saw Vortex Magic in the manga of Black Clover, and it is the magic that the new Purple Orca's captain, Kaiser, can use. Now we know that according to Fagolion, that Kaiser is a very powerful mage, even prior to becoming an elf. He makes it seem as if Kaiser could have been the captain of the Purple Orcas all along, but he doesn't like to be in the spotlight. So this means it is possible that Kaiser was stronger than Gildre. Now what we actually saw of the Vortex Magic is a bit skewed, because that is with Elven mana, which is vastly superior to human mana. But going off of his nickname, the Shield of the Clover Kingdom, I doubt that Fagolion wouldn't just name anyone without the merit to prove it. So I would assume that Kaiser has earned this name with his Vortex Magic, and that Vortex Magic is powerful even by a human. But Vortex Magic acts somewhat like a tornado. Most magic attacks targeted at a Vortex Mage will be dispersed or reflected by the Vortex, making most magic meaningless to a Vortex Mage. Not only this, but the Vortex spreads of the attack causes an enemy mage's mana to disperse away from them, which would actively weaken enemies of the Vortex Mage. And the Vortex will even seep through the mana skin of enemies, weakening them physically. But there is a glaring weakness from this magic, and that is that it doesn't do well against physical attacks. Vortex Magic detects all other magic and deflects it. So what Fagolion did was order his Salamander's Fire Spirit to attack Kaiser, and then Fagolion stopped using his mana to sneak past the Vortex detection. Before Kaiser could realize what was going on, Fagolion had already prepared a powerful fire magic punch and punched him in the stomach. But the important thing to note is that it seems most mages could not counter this, only mages with spirits or the ability to clone themselves. But still, it seems Vortex Magic is very powerful, but we need to see more of it before I could rank it any higher. But it's still very powerful, and I would put it as a top 10 type of magic. Now, Painting Magic is another magic type that I also view to be very powerful. Whatever a painting mage draws comes to life. We mainly see painting magic from Rill and his elven counterpart Lyra. Because whatever you draw comes to life, that means Rill technically has access to all magic types that he can draw. So he could draw lightning, and he'll have lightning, as he's able to draw a thunder god, which used lightning. Now Rill's magic seems powerful, but we have only seen it being used with extremely high mana, really. We don't know how strong painting magic is from a average level of a magic knight. We don't know how it is. We just know how strong it is with a captain and an amped captain, and it's very powerful. Also, it is a notable weakness is that you have to draw everything that you think. You don't just automatically create it like a normal mage uses their spells. You draw it, which takes a bit longer. Although Rill is a very fast drawer, it still would slow him down a little bit, and that's a bit of a weakness. So that keeps it at number 10 for me, but who knows? The more we see, the more this list can change, but I would say it's a very powerful magic. At number 9 is a magic affinity that is mostly based purely on speculation, and that is sword magic. Now we only know one mage who has sword magic, and that is Licht. Now of course, this could also be skewed because Licht is not only an elf, but the elf with the highest mana. But with what we have seen so far, sword magic is very, very powerful. All three of Asta's current swords are former swords of Licht, and they all had these names prior to Asta. So these swords had gained enough merit to be named Demon Slayer, Demon Dweller, and the Demon Destroyer swords. If these act similarly, the Demon Slayer sword destroys magic, the Demon Dweller would absorb magic and can shoot it back, and the Demon Destroyer would cancel a currently active spell. It is very likely that Licht had many other swords as well within his grimoire that are all very powerful, which makes sword magic a very multi-purpose affinity that I would rank pretty highly, but the more we know about sword magic could either increase it on the list, make it go higher, or go lower, but as of right now I'll have to say and speculate that it is at number 9 on this list. At number 8 is Permeation Magic, famously used by Gildre Poisat. Now this magic gets a bad rap because a mere magic knight, an Asta, was able to cancel it out. So they think that Gildre and his magic is weak. We need to remember that Asta was literally the exact weakness for Gildre. Asta could not only destroy magic, but can sense ki, which makes all the tricks of Permeation Magic useless. So this was not a fair display of this particular magic affinity. Asta was like water, and Gildre was like fire in this situation. If it weren't for Yami or Asta, Gildre likely would have easily escaped the grasp of the other captains. Permeation Magic makes the user completely invisible and intangible to magic, meaning nobody can sense his magic when he's invisible, and magic attacks will go completely through him. This means a Permeation Mage is pretty much a tank to all types of magic. Their magic attacks would also be invisible, but that time their magic attacks can be sensed and defended against, although still invisible. Permeation Magic is one of those types that both a commoner or a royal could be powerful with. A commoner could be a tank to royalty level attacks, and a very powerful person, a royal with Permeation Magic, would be very, very powerful as well. So this is a very all-purpose, generalized type of magic that is overall very good. At number 7 is Spatial Magic, but much more precisely, Offensive Spatial Magic. Offensive Spatial Magic can literally destroy, erase, or wipe all things physical or magic-wise. The only thing it can be countered with is other spatial magic, anti-magic, trap magic, or other kinds of severing magic. This type of magic is so powerful that when an elf user has it, he's able to take on 2 captains at once, Yami and Jack, aided by a defensive spatial mage user and Finral. So an offensive spatial mage user that was an elf was able to fight 2 captains at once that were aided by Finral. That is very, very powerful. Although they would eventually lose, it was not because of the magic type, it was because of the user. The elf just failed and would be defeated by Finral. Offensive spatial magic is very powerful. It's one of the most powerful because theoretically, even if a commoner with little mana was born with the ability to manipulate offensive spatial magic, they'd still be a beast. They could still kill anybody. They just wouldn't be able to use as big as holes and use it as much because they would have less mana. Their reinforcement magic would be slower, but still, their main attack of offensive spatial magic would still be that strong. And then a royal, or a nobleman, or an aristocrat like Langris would be very, very powerful, even more powerful, because of how powerful offensive spatial magic is. In fact, I thought I might even rank it higher than number 7, but like I said, the more we see of these magic types, the more accurate we can make these lists in the future, because this is just a tentative list. I bet you that in the next year or 2, I could probably make another video, and it'd be very different rankings, because we'll see more magic types and see more information on the magic types we've already known. But yeah, overall, I'd still have to put it at number 7. At number 6, it's gonna have to be Severing Magic. Severing Magic is basically magic blades, and the person we see using this most is Captain Jack the Ripper of the Green Praying Mantis. He's able to cut through many physical objects, as well as magic attacks. But there really is one main aspect of this magic type that places it high on this list. That is that Severing Magic can alter and adapt over the course of a fight, as Jack is able to adapt his blade to be strong enough to slice through amped offensive spatial magic. This means in a battle, if a Severing Mage was fighting a stronger mage, eventually they'd be able to adapt their magic to surpass or be on par with their enemy. This stupidly powerful ability single-handedly puts it this high on the list for me, because the adaptability to make it stronger and be able to cut anything is absolutely amazing. And then it also has the other multi-purpose abilities, such as just regular cutting. So yeah, I would put Severing Magic at number 6. At number 5 is a very debatable and controversial pick. I know I'm going to get a lot of heat for this, but I'm going to put Anti-Magic Swords. Now, I say this, it's because Anti-Magic is inherently different than Magic, as Riot couldn't copy it, and you don't need any sort of mana to manipulate it. But I just wanted to include it in this video. With Anti-Magic Swords, you can destroy and cut all types of magic. The Demon Dweller Sword can absorb different types of magic, and it can be very, very powerful, just it isn't properly used yet. Also, the Demon Destroyer Sword cancels active spells. These swords are very powerful, but they're also very, very limited. I just don't know if I can put it much higher. They are powerful, but what's more important is how the user handles them. Beginning of Series Asa would be very weak compared to now, despite having the number 5 magic on this list. But now he's considered a beast, and it's mainly because of his physical strength. He's very, very, very powerful. If anyone could theoretically use the black form with these swords, then I might put it a spot higher, but we don't know that yet. So I'm going to keep it at number 5. At number 4, it is Copy Magic. Now this really could be higher, especially if you take into account powerful mages, but we also need to take a look at Copy Magic for if an average mage got it, or a weak mage got Copy Magic. So, Copy Magic lets the mage copy other magic types and spells. In order to copy these spells, the Copy Mage must touch the other grimoire of an opponent or ally. The user can copy both the affinity and the spells of the grimoire it touches, but the power of the spell is brought to the mage's own level. So a very powerful Copy Mage can copy much weaker magic and spells and power it up to his own level. Or a weak Copy Mage could copy very powerful light magic, but that light magic would be brought down to his level. A weak Copy Mage wouldn't be that great of a mage, but is balanced out by a very powerful Copy Mage. So that's why I put it at number 4. Now a weak Copy Mage would still theoretically be pretty useful, because they'd have multiple types of magic, could confuse the enemy, but still a weak mage can only use one magic type at a time. A very powerful mage like Elf Raya can use at least 3 different magic types at a single time, so it's very, very powerful at its highest peak. Not as powerful as at its lowest level, but still I would put it at number 4. At the third spot, gonna have to put Light Magic, which is often referred to as the most rare type of magic in all of Black Clover. Over the course of the series, it has been stated that in the centuries long history of the Clover Kingdom, only a few mages ever had light magic. This likely means that at any time throughout history, your nation will likely have none or maybe one light magic mage in the entire kingdom. Light magic is the fastest type of magic in Black Clover. It gives the mage the ability to manipulate light, which is seemingly the fastest element. So getting the ability to be the fastest in your entire verse with having the fastest starting point is a pretty big deal. It also has room for a lot of cool different attacks. You can create light swords with it. You can spam very fast light magic attacks and make yourself move very, very fast. But it's not the best in my opinion, despite being apparently the most rare affinity. Now these last 2 spots were very, very hard for me to decide between the two, but overall I decided with Thread Fate Magic to be at the number 2 spot. Thread Magic can eventually evolve into Fate Magic. Thread Magic can be used to slow down or attack enemies, as well as binding them. It can be used to speed up oneself or the allies of the person. Then there's the Red Thread of Fate, which actively manipulates fate in favor of the user. But it does act in more of a defensive way, which is the main reason why I put this at affinity at number 2. But the main way I kind of did this will need to be explained in number 1. Number 1 is Time Magic. Time Magic is simply seeming to be the ultimate juggernaut in Black Clover. It grants the user the ability to reverse injuries upon themselves, and likely other people, as well if they choose to do so. Any attack from a Time Mage is lethal, as it ages anything it touches. They can capture any one in their Time Stasis balls, and with Time Magic they can reverse attacks, or even fling back the attacks faster than they were by making that attack's time faster. Julius has a sort of precognition, when he uses Time Magic. That's probably even a better form of precognition than Ki is itself, as he actually senses future mana and uses that to be able to predict and dodge attacks. Now, kind of what I did is I thought of a scenario to decide which is a better affinity, Thread, Fate Magic, or Time. Now I took a Julius Novachrono, who has Time Magic, the one we've seen in the series. Then I took an exact replica of Julius Novachrono, but took away his Time Magic and gave him Vanessa's Magic. Now this Julius would be a lot better than Vanessa. He'd have way more mana, so his threads would be better, he'd have more powerful threads, and the Red Thread of Fate would be able to use at a much better way. But if you put a battle between Thread Magic Julius and Time Magic Julius, I still think that Time Magic Julius would be able to win. He'd be faster, have precog better than Ki, and could kill Red Thread of Fate Julius. Because I can pretty much guarantee that the regular beam that Julius shoots out of his hands that is a lethal attack, he could shoot the Thread Julius with that over and over again. And eventually, Thread Julius is going to run out of mana because the Red Thread of Fate uses a lot of mana, and then Red Thread of Fate will be useless, and then one more lethal attack from Julius with Time Magic, and Time Julius would win. That's the scenario I thought of at least, but I would put Time at number 1. So yeah guys, that's my list. Let me know if you disagree with me. I'm completely okay if you disagree with me. There's so much different magic types, so much different ways to look at it, but I'd be very interested to hear your thoughts. But anyways guys, please let me know what you think. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And also, turn on notifications to be notified every time I upload a video. Also, links down below in the description. Join my Discord, and follow me on Twitter. Hope you guys all have an amazing day. Plus...